Okay. So I haven't really posted a video in a very, very, very long ass time. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that need to, I guess, there's all kinds of people out there with different stories. Everyone goes through different things and battles different demons. And, I don't know, I feel like every once in a while, if someone shares their story, it kind of helps other people that are going through similar things that either don't have the outlet to share their story or don't have the opportunity to, but also that way they know that they're not alone. I basically am doing this video as a Suicide Awareness Month. Feel like I know a decent amount about that. I deal with mental health on a daily basis. I feel like everyone kind of does in their own ways. Different cases, everyone is different. I've actually been to a facility before. Wasn't anything super long, mainly because I didn't want to be there that long. I could have stayed probably up to like 5 days if I really wanted to, but I don't like the feeling of isolation, and that's kind of how it feels at night because they're on a schedule. Because people there working, they're doing their shift, they're doing their job basically, which you can't really be mad about, but it was just kind of frustrating because I'm a night owl. I'm always up at night. I've always worked night shifts. If I had a job, I would want it to be something night related because I am a night person. But I just am like all of that. But I met some really cool people. I've heard a lot of interesting stories. Everyone does deal with things differently, and it's not that I didn't already know that before going there, but it was just kind of like, wow, there's actually like a lot more people locally to me that are dealing and struggling with battles either kind of the same as mine or maybe totally opposite to mine, but still completely relevant. But the methods that they were using to help us were very helpful for all of us. I know some of us probably it wasn't helping as much as others. Some people I feel like were relying solely on their medication, which you can't. I personally feel like you can't do that. You cannot solely rely on medication to fix all of your problems. It helps. Yes, I was on medication. It helped me, but at the same time, I realized that medication wasn't actually exactly for me. Just because, I guess, I don't know, I just didn't really like it. It made me feel like I was being controlled and I didn't have control over myself, if that makes sense. And that's one thing I don't like is when something has control over me. I don't like feeling like I don't have control over how I feel, because I've stopped doing all the negative things that I used to do to myself. So to start this off, basically, I'm going to go back to like when this really started happening for me. I was actually in middle school. I had a few close friends at the time, and one of them, I had actually hurt myself on my upper arm right here with a mail opener. Yeah, it was kind of brutal because I literally sat there. It was like I was basically trying to saw my arm off, but I wasn't breaking skin very well because it was a mail opener, like it's not meant for using those kind of things for. But it was enough to, get through the skin eventually, and it did show up like there was a scar there, there was pus, it was disgusting, it was gross. No. But basically, a friend of mine saw it, and I didn't know she saw it. She went to the counselor, told the counselor at school, and they called me in to talk to me. I did not know that anybody really gave a shit at the time. I kind of felt like I didn't have anybody, and I was losing a lot of people in my life at the time, like family-wise. Like I had a lot of death go through my family. So along with that, I was feeling like I didn't have anybody to turn to about these problems, and therapy didn't work for me in the past, And so I was scared to try it out again because I didn't think it was going to work. So I never even thought about, asking for help. Then the school basically offered for me to go through counseling, I guess, to go talk to somebody. If I ever need to talk to somebody, just go tell the teacher and go to the counselor and talk. I didn't take advantage of that as much as I wish I could have, or wish I should have, sorry. Because I thought that after that one session talking that I was going to be fine because I realized that somebody actually cared about me. And then shit got worse. And I started finding new methods. Actually, it wasn't before because I had hurt myself a few other times after that, but it was with different things. Because I was too scared to break a razor at the time. So I would literally find things, like random fucking things. It was weird. I couldn't explain it. But after a few times of doing that, I actually did my first actual suicide attempt, and that was actually very scary, because I tried to use, you're gonna think I'm fucking retarded, but I tried to use a fucking coat hanger to kill myself. But basically, with that being said, it did not work. I did suffocate myself a little bit, because whenever I finally got the hanger off and was like, okay, shit, like this isn't working like I thought it was going to work. I thought this was going to be kind of like an instant thing. I started like reacting. Like that's kind of your body's natural instinct is when you're in that kind of, your body kind of goes into survival mode. And it's like, okay, you need to stay alive. Like you need to keep yourself alive. So I like go to fucking pull it up back over my head. And I actually broke the coat hanger in doing that because I got it up to right here and it was suffocating me right here and I couldn't breathe, and then snap. I was like, and at that point, I was like, okay, never again, not doing this. I started writing, started drawing. I used to draw a lot in middle school as a outlet for that. I would write stories, anything to take my mind off of anything that was making me feel bad. After middle school, though, and after that first suicide attempt, I actually ended up finding out about somebody who actually did commit suicide, and he succeeded, and I was, I think, a freshman in high school at this point, and he was in 7th grade, I think. And it shocked me. It blew my mind. And it wasn't somebody I personally knew, but I had a friend who knew him, who knew him kind of fairly decent. I'm pretty sure I think that they might have been related. I'm not fully sure. But, we went in support of her to his funeral. And it was just kind of sucky because there was actually a girl who bullied him. And the thing that sucked is everyone went and turned around and bullied her right back after all of that happened. And yeah, I get it. It's very, very fucked up that somebody could bully someone to that point. But I don't think that's what he would have wanted. I feel like he would have probably still continued to show that girl some kind of ounce of kindness because that's just the kind of guy he seemed to have been. I don't think he would have wanted all of his friends or people that he had known to go and bully this girl to the point where she deactivated her Facebook, and I don't think she has one anymore. I don't know whatever happened to her. I really don't. I just remember her deactivating her Facebook account because she couldn't deal with all the bad feedback she got. Now, does that mean that what she did was right? No, it does not. Because I know somebody's going to be like, well, that's a little fucked up. You think that she doesn't deserve that? Well, everyone gets karma, but no one deserves karma like that. No one. I'm sorry. That's how I view the world in a way. But after that, it was like a realization moment for me, like, oh shit, I can't be doing this shit. Like, I'm gonna hurt people that I really love, because I read the story about how his family found him and everything, and I was like, fuck. And so I let the thoughts of that kind of go for a little while. And then I started pointing my happiness into the wrong places. I stopped drawing as much. I stopped doing artsy things. My schooling was actually failing. My freshman year, I failed like 6 classes. And I did not think that I was going to ever actually graduate high school at that point, because of how much makeup shit I was going to have to do. But basically, with that being said, I spent most of my freshman year goofing off, enjoying what high school had to offer me, but not paying attention to my academics, paying attention to my band and all that, because I was more interested in that. That was my creative outlet. And then when I had that taken from me, I got really depressed. I still had my instrument. I still play. I still have it to this day. I still play. But it just upset me because, like, I couldn't perform with other people that were there for the same reasons as me. And it just kind of upset me a little bit. But I realized that I had to get my shit done so I could get that again for my senior year. So my sophomore and junior year, I spent a lot of my time going in and out of toxic relationships while trying to focus on getting my shit together school-wise. And a lot of the relationships that I was in, they always kind of seemed to take like a little toll on me, especially afterwards. I would get really depressed and I would feel like I was worthless and I wouldn't have any point of living anymore. 9 times out of 10, I would hurt myself. And after that point, I would be like, okay, that was stupid. Why the fuck did I do that? And then months would go by and I would be fine and nothing would happen. But then I would end up getting in another toxic relationship. It would take a toll on me to the point where either I'm drinking or I'm smoking or I'm doing this or that or the other to try to, I guess, make me feel better. And basically, with doing all of that, it kind of caused me to be someone I wasn't, someone I didn't like being around. Even though it was me, I was around myself all the time, but I didn't enjoy being like that person. And I know that the people that I hung out with and stuff, they didn't enjoy seeing me be that person either. I got out of a really bad toxic relationship that almost it was either basically him or my friends kind of situation. And I chose my friends because my friends had always been there for me. Even whenever it was hard for them to be there for me, they were always there. So I was like, nah, dude, fuck you. But with me leaving him, basically, it was more of a mutual feeling. But I quit my job because we worked together, and I was like, I can go get a job somewhere else. Fuck this shit, no. He tried to beg me to stay, not stay with him, but stay working there, that he wouldn't cause me any problems, and I said no. Like, I don't want to work with you, I'm sorry. And I have that freedom. I can do whatever I want. I can go work wherever the fuck I want. Like, no. And then I started hanging out with my best guy friend. And, well, at the time, best guy friend. And I also started drinking a lot. Getting really out of control drinking. I wasn't even 21 yet. I was 20 years old when this started happening. I mean, I was already on my way to being an alcoholic by the age of 17, but after a while I stopped drinking so much vodka because it fucked with me too much. And then when I turned 20, I switched to tequila because that was my best guy friend's favorite drink. So we drank that most of the time because I wanted him to drink, and I knew that if I didn't get tequila, he might not drink it because people are just sometimes picky about their alcohol. I get it. But at the same time, it was just not a very good situation because I didn't realize that my best guy friend was actually going to be somebody that I was going to end up falling in love with and dedicating basically my entire life to. And thinking that he was the one and this, that, and the other. he wasn't necessarily an entirely bad guy. But I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he was the best guy in the world, because he wasn't. I don't always feel like, at first maybe he was honest with me about things, but then after a while the honesty kind of stopped, and you can't have a friendship or a relationship with anybody built on lies or anything that's not have trust. You have to have that. That is one of the key ingredients to building any kind of relationship with anyone. I feel like I kind of lost myself, if that makes sense, in that point. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was becoming. I would drink to the point where I blacked out, and I didn't remember unless somebody told me what I did the next day. I would get told some awful things, like not just necessarily things that I've done, but things that happened or was said that just kind of, while I wasn't around, kind of thing. And it hurt, because I personally felt like I was, I thought everyone had fun around me, and I thought that, oh, if I go buy all this alcohol and I go buy drugs or whatever the fuck, all these people are going to like me, and all these people are going to want to hang out with me because I have this shit, which is necessarily true. But the people that were really there for me from the get-go, they didn't like that. They didn't like the person that I was, because they were like, that's not you. You're giving away all of your shit to people that don't deserve it. Why are you doing this? So, long story short, I ended up getting in a relationship with my best guy friend. I don't want to say the worst mistake I made. Probably just a mistake of the fact that if we'd never gotten in a relationship, we'd probably still be friends to this day. He's not, like I said, he's not a bad person, but at the same time, I don't do well if someone is going to try and make me seem like a bad person, because that's going to say a lot about your character, and that's just not my business. Your business is not mine. My business is not yours, kind of thing. But basically, long story short, my mental health declined really bad in the relationship. I had a lot of self-confidence issues, self-image issues with myself, and also the fact that this man literally, I get it. I can appreciate a nice woman. I can appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just whenever you're told basically that, if you don't like how you look, then change it. What? I'm sorry, but that is the most disrespectful thing you can say to a fucking woman, is that if you don't like how you look, you can change it. That's like telling someone, okay, hear me out. Let's say somebody said, oh, I don't like my nose. Well, then change it. Go fix your nose. I can understand, okay, I can get the point of okay, if you don't like being overweight, change it. Yeah. Easy to say. But do you know of any reason of why that person might be overweight? I'm not saying it personally for me, but I know plenty of people that are overweight for reasons that are not their own, and reasons that they really can't control because they're medical conditions. So it's just kind of irritating to me when a man feels like he can tell a woman, if you don't like something about yourself, physically, something about yourself, go change it. I don't feel like that's supportive. I feel like something more supportive would be, oh, well, babe, if you want to go work out or do something like that, how about we go do that? Or if you want to go get contacts, color contacts, because you want a different color eye color or whatever, let's go buy you some color contacts. Being excited, for for the idea, kind of making it feeling like it's like that other person's idea that's having the issue. Because if they feel like they're the ones doing it, they're going to be more likely to do it than if you're telling them that they need to do it. I'm sorry. That's just how that works. But basically, that wasn't like the only thing. So like his, I guess you could say Instagram interests. I'm literally not picky about shit. Because I go on there and look at all kinds of shit on fucking Instagram. I'm not going to control somebody and tell them, hey, you can't look at that. But it's it's always, like, consistently the same thing. Like, if it's a model, by all means, I don't give a fuck, bro. Now, if it's your best friend's ex-girlfriend, and she's showing her ass and her titties, and you're only liking those, sorry about you, but nah. But that really took effect on me because, like, I felt like I was being used, in a sense. Like, my love was being used because he knew that I wasn't gonna go anywhere, that I was gonna always be there, that he could fuck up however many fucking times, and I'd be like, oh, no, it's fine, I love you, like, everything's good, like, don't worry about it, we're fine. Because that's kind of how it went most of the time. Anytime that I would bring something up about how I felt about something, he would get mad, I would shut down, and be like, oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. And that leads to communication. We didn't have it. So, of course, the relationship's gonna fail. No trust, no communication. What's that other thing? There's one more thing that you're supposed to have in a relationship. I can't remember what it is, but I'm sure we probably didn't have that either. But basically, with all of those things weighing down on me and making me kind of feel like I wasn't enough, I kind of did it to myself, so I can't blame him for it. Like, that's not what I'm necessarily doing. I'm just kind of stating at the fact that with all that built up on me and me constantly feeling and worrying, oh my god, like, I'm about to lose this person in my life, when in reality, that's what kind of needed to happen in the first place so I could realize who the fuck I am. I kind of lost myself, and I didn't think I was going to get back. I didn't think I had anyone. I thought all my friends hated me. I felt alone. I didn't feel like I had any family. My grandfather, at the time this was happening, I was aware that he was in the hospital, dealing with some things, and the breakup was going to happen 2 weeks prior to it happening, but it didn't. Only because while in the process of it happening, I was freaking out because of other unrelated things with my mental health, and I wanted to die, so I tried to. That was like my last, basically. I wasn't trying necessarily to attempt to kill myself, but I was lucky I didn't. I guess maybe my mind process was that was what I wanted the end goal to be, but it also wasn't. Like, I didn't want to necessarily die. It's just kind of like in the moment spurt thing. Like, I was kind of manic in a sense. He noticed, because at first I kind of hid it because I was like, no, bro. But I was dizzy. I hadn't eaten that much that day, I don't think. I don't think I had drinking any water. So, like, I'm over here, like, bleeding. My arm's, like, bleeding really bad, and I'm, like, loopy. Like, I'm swaying and shit. And then I had to lay down because I couldn't sit up. And, that's when he noticed it, because I had set my arm up, propped up, and he saw it, and he was like, oh, fuck, you've done it this time. And he was pissed, dude. He was pissed. He went and told his mom what I had done. I was in there, I think I was crying, laying there, kind of just feeling like, fuck, like, I fucked up, like, I fucked everything up, oh my god, like, what the fuck am I gonna do, like, I should have just, it should have just ended me. Like, why can't I just die? Or shit like that started going through my head. And then he comes back and he's crying. He's pissed off, but he's still crying. Like, he was a little still pissed off, but he was crying. And his mom came in, and I hadn't pulled my sleeve down because I didn't want her to see it. And she said, "Can I see it?" And she looked at it, and she looked like she was about to have a fucking heart attack. She looked me in my eyes, and she was like, "Can I take you to the hospital?" And I sat there, and I thought about it. In my head, I knew what was going to happen. I was like, if I go to the hospital, they're not going to let me leave. I just kind of sat there, not saying anything. He looked at me and he was like, he was crying. He's like, basically trying to get an answer out of me. And I finally kind of nodded my head and said, "Yeah, take me to the hospital." And she said, "Okay, well, let me go get my purse." And she went and got her purse, and he's just sitting there bawling his eyes out. And I think he was asking me why. I can't remember much of the conversation we had. He told me he loved me. He gave me a hug, and he kissed me on the forehead. And I think, honestly, I feel like that was the last sincere time he actually ever meant that. Wow. So I go to the hospital. I tell them what I did. And I'm sitting in mobile crisis for like all fucking morning, dude. All morning. They brought me dinner. I was so upset though. I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home. I tried to convince them to let me leave and go home. But my ex's mom would not let me. She said that if I did not stay there, I would not have a place to live. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to stay here and do this. Because not for the fact that I wouldn't have a place to live, but the fact that maybe I do need to sit time and take some time for myself and figure out my shit, figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. So, I ended up going to Helen Ross McNabb Center on Western Avenue. And they are all such lovely people, all of them. When I got there, I did all my sign-in stuff. And a friend of mine actually had brought me a pack of cigarettes because I knew I was about to run out. And I was allowed to smoke cigarettes there during the smoke breaks. And a friend of mine actually brought me a pack of cigarettes and left me a little note, and I've kept it with me ever since. And it's actually very ironic because it was the girl who told the counselor the first time I ever did something to myself. It was that same girl that got me a pack of cigarettes and left me a little note. And it's crazy. Because I didn't expect everything to happen to me right after I got out. I went through the program, set up a therapy appointment, set up my medication so I could, my insurance, everything. I had everything ready to go, man. Like, I was ready. I was hoping that this medicine, I guess, was going to fix me. And after taking it for 2 weeks, I realized, no, it's not. I relied too much on it, like, fixing me wise. And with that being said, me and my ex, actually, we resolved everything, and when I came back, we were still together. During that 2-week period before we broke up, anytime I would wake up, and I would be in a bad mood, instant thing, he'd say, "Take your medicine. Take your medicine. Quit being a bitch, take your medicine." And I would take my medicine at first. Then after a while, I kind of got tired of hearing it. It's like, listen, motherfucker, you are not going to tell me to take my motherfucking medicine that is prescribed to me. I will take it when I am ready to take it. I will take it as soon as I wake up if I want to. If I don't want to and I want to go smoke a cigarette and then take my medicine, I'll do that. Or if I want to smoke a cigarette, smoke a little bit, and then take my medicine, I'll do that. But no, apparently I was not allowed to, Now, granted, I did tell this man he could watch over my medicine for me, to make sure that I'm not overtaking my medicine. But that was not me telling him, hey, keep track of my medicine, make sure I take it every single day, and if I don't take it, basically be an ass to me until I take it. That's not what I was basically inviting him to do. And I guess that's what he thought I was inviting him to do. But no. We broke up over something, the most stupidest thing, but it was just built up shit, so it was coming eventually, and I knew it was. He let me stay with him for about maybe a week. No, not even a week. Because the day after we broke up, my grandfather passed away. Now, you're probably like, your grandfather, really, kid? This is a lot harder on me than I thought it would ever be. My grandfather actually was a big part of my life. He adopted me when I was 2 years old when my mom passed away, and my dad didn't want to take care of me and my brother, so me and my brother got adopted by my grandfather and my grandmother. And then my grandmother passed away July 4th, 2009, and my grandfather passed away July 18th or 19th, July 19th, 2020. So, the day right after me and my ex broke up, my grandfather passes away. I'm hysterical at this point, to be honest with you. I literally could not tell you exactly all the processes that were, or all the things that were processing through my head at that time. I'm glad I was around someone, but my ex is not the person I feel like I should have been around when I was receiving that news, because he cared, but at the same time, I felt the distance already, and I knew that it would have probably been different. Like if we were together friends, that he probably would have comforted me in a different way. And honestly, at that point, I just kind of wanted to be alone. I didn't really want to be around anybody. I wanted to listen to music a lot. I wanted to write, and I hadn't wanted to do that in so long. I didn't cry when I found out. I think it took me almost a week. No. I bawled my eyes out. Really bad. Like, full-blown mental breakdown whenever I got kicked out. Because I quit my job, and my ex wasn't understanding. He felt like I should have just worked, because I was actually in the process of moving to Georgia to go stay with family in Georgia for a little while. He did not understand why I was going to be going to quit my job, and then a week later be going to Georgia. He just wanted me to have a full paycheck, and I understand that, but my mental health just wasn't letting me. I knew that once I got to work and had to deal with work shit, while on top of trying to figure out what the fuck just happened to me, I didn't feel like it was a very safe environment for me, mental-wise. And I'm sorry, I do my job, but my workspace is like part of my sacred time. It is part of my me time, and if I can't fucking have that, I don't want it. So, kind of sucks, because I was in the same situation that I was in my last relationship, where I was working with them at a restaurant. So that was my big... Listen, I should have learned the first time. But I think I learned it this time, because I don't want to work with somebody that I'm in a relationship with. Just, no, it's not happening. But basically, I made a lot of realizations. And I was telling myself that I needed to let go of everything. I ignored it. When I got kicked out, I hung out with friends. I went to Georgia. A lot of things happened. I came back. Long story short, I came back mainly to help my brother with shit that's going on with my grandfather's passing, and to be around my friends, which is also my family, because they know me and they know how to. I feel like they know how to keep me grounded more, keep me from going off the rails, and actually potentially something bad happening to me. So, but the amount of thoughts that have crossed my mind, man, I couldn't tell you. I thought I was okay. Actually, at my grandfather's funeral, I actually legitimately thought I was going to be okay. I thought in Georgia for a little bit, first couple of weeks, I was fine. And then it hit me. Everything hit me all at once like a fucking freight train. But it wasn't like, oh, this shit just kind of happened, it's shitty. It's, oh, this shit kind of happened and it's your fault kind of thing. And I know I can't blame myself for my grandfather passing, but I can blame myself for not being able to see him as much as I could have seen him. And that is something that kills me every single fucking day, knowing. Also, the fact that I literally singularly, like I personally felt for so long after my relationship ended that it was all my fault that it ended. I realized roughly, I think, a week before I came back to Tennessee, I realized that I cannot blame myself for everything. Cannot blame myself for everything that happened in that relationship or any relationship I've ever had. There are two sides to every fucking story. And if some people want to listen to one side and not hear the other, that's on them. I have no reason to make up shit. I have no reason to lie. Because honestly, at this point, I've kind of lost a lot of shit. And I'm literally picking it back all up for the last time. So I can actually get my shit straight. Because I'm tired of people coming into my life and trying to think they can take whatever the fuck they want from me. But I know it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to deal with the shit your mind tells you. Sometimes it's even harder to deal with the shit that people talk about you, say to each other, and then somehow it relays itself back to you. It's all too much sometimes. And I understand that, and I get it. I understand 100%. But I have not hurt myself since my breakup or since my grandfather passed away. And I am more proud of myself in that than anything else. Some people will probably be like, that should be fucking easy. Trust me. I wish it fucking was. Because I'm not going to say that I've been good since I got out of Helen Ross. Because I did hurt myself one other time after I got out of Helen Ross. And actually, no, it wasn't then. It was so. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was. I think it was in between those two things happening. But not since. I'm getting on 3 months. Roughly, almost. And honestly, I can say this is the longest I've consistently thought about it and been happy that I haven't. Because I still, like I said, I still deal with the battles every single fucking day, the struggles with my fucking mind telling me, hey, you know what always makes you feel better? No, it doesn't make me feel better. It hurts me and the people around me and the people that I love, even though it's hard. But I'm just kind of at that point where I'm doing stuff for me for once. And either people can support that and do stuff for them as well. And then we all just get together and help each other the fuck out. Or you can finally just get the fuck out of my life and I could care less what happens to you at that point. Because I have too much love to give to people that actually deserve it, and I'm not going to sit around wasting my time giving it to people that are just going to half-ass their side. But with all of that being said, my whole point of sharing my story is not for me to get attention. It's not for me to pity me, oh my, no, it's not the point. My point is that I see you and I know that you're going through something right now because everyone that I know is going through something right now. But I also see the you that you don't see yet. Because that's who you're going to be. And karma is going to come for all those people that have done you dirty, done you wrong, hurt you, broke you. Because karma's a bitch and she knows when she needs to come. It may not be right now. It may not be next year. But eventually, somewhere along in that person's life, karma's going to get them real hard and they're not going to see it coming. And that happens to everybody. So, always keep your karma clean. Keep it good. Don't be wishing bad things on anybody. But don't be damned if somebody's going to wish something bad on you. You nip that in the bud. Because we don't have time for bad vibes anymore. We don't have time for negative shit anymore. It's finally time for the people who have been struggling so long with mental health and shit to finally be able to speak their mind, people to hear their voices, and be happy for once. Because the majority of the people that have been dealing with mental health have been dealing with it for their entire lives. And half of them still have not found their reason of happiness. And that's really what I want for anyone in this world, is just to find something that makes them happy. And I'm sorry, but it cannot be another person. It has to be legitimate. It has to be something you find within yourself or an object. Not something that can be taken away. something, I guess, sentimental that holds value to you, that when you look at it, you're going to be happy that you have it in your possession. But since it is Suicide Awareness Month, I want people to go out there and smile more. Spread smiles. They're the most contagious thing in the world. Smile. Really big for everyone. Because everyone's probably you never know who's going through it. You never do. People hide their shit all the time. And literally just a smile can literally save somebody's fucking life, dude. So, smile more at strangers, people you don't know, people you see passing down the street, people you see passing by you on a bike. Wave at them and smile. Or say, hey, have a great day, whatever. Something simple, something nice to let somebody know, hey, like, I see you, right? Also, if you need help, do not be afraid to reach out and go get the proper help you need. I am going to link a few hotlines in my description for this month. This is probably the only video I'm going to post for a while, just because I am trying my fucking hardest to get my shit together. But I felt like I needed to do something to be like, listen, it's time to talk. This is Camara, welcome to my TED Talk. But I want people to be able to relate. And that's the whole point of my YouTube now, is to relate with people. I want to relate on different aspects of life, adulthood, how to be an adult, how to, like, who's got this whole adult thing down, like, because I know I don't, but like, just simple things, like, to kind of make your day a little bit better, but also at the time, like, same time, to talk about the shit that's going on in the world that people don't want to talk about, because it's scary, and when things scare us, we tend to run away from them, and we can't do that. So stop running from your problems, because it's not going to help. Actually face them. Face them with a giant smile on your face and be like, listen, you don't fucking scare me, bro. I'm bigger, I'm better than you. Do something about it. But, I hope you guys all have a great spooky season. The holidays are about to be shit for me, but I'm not gonna let my spirit be fucking drowned by all this shit that's happened. I am going to still be in my best mood, my best self. I wish that all for you guys. I wish all you guys a happy holiday season. It's almost time for the end of the year, and I'm actually ready for 2020 to be the fuck over with. And I think everybody else can agree with me on that one. But you guys all have a great night, great morning, wherever the fuck you are, whatever the fuck time it is. And if you'd like to, subscribe. If you would like to, you can share the video to post more people awareness of suicide and mental health. Because I really want that message to be clear and out there. I want people to know about these issues and the fact that people do struggle with mental health on a daily basis, and we don't need to be silenced about it. We need to spread our awareness of it. And what's better time to do that than a month that is literally dedicated for that? But you guys all have a great night, day. Stay lovely, my hippies.